Buckets. Hello and welcome into episode 76 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. It is Monday, May 12th. Tip-off of Timberwolves Warriors has just started over to my right. Celtics Knicks game 4 just ended moments ago. And what better time to talk basketball than with my good friend Dom? Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff that I always forget to say. 5 stars, blah, blah, blah. Dom, tell me how the hell are you?
Hey, how's it going? Oh, hey, I see you over there. Hey, I'm winning games over here. I'm the Knicks. I'm the Knicks right now.
Ah,
Um,
okay, okay, okay.
I'm good. I just watched the Celtics lose. Unfortunately, I did see Jason Tatum injury. We'll talk about a little bit. That is never good, but I'm good. I've been watching a lot of basketball. I started driving Lyft, so you might see me driving on the streets, on the streets of Los Angeles.
And you're watching while driving, right?
I'm definitely listening. And if you get in the car and say, I don't want to listen to the game, I say, then you can get out of the car. Then you can get out of the car while I listen to the
Do you
NBA
want to get
playoff
to your
game.
destination or not?
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually going to turn it up now. I'm going to turn it up now that you said that. No, I've been good. We've been finishing up the album, still doing that. It's going to happen next month. We have shows coming next month. And yeah, just watching basketball. Super crazy playoffs. I'm loving every second, trying to watch it whenever I can. And oh, yeah, I'm actually going. I'll be in Texas next week, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll be hanging out in person live.
Yeah, we'll see if I have time to fit you in.
Oh yeah, for
Let me
sure.
check
Yeah,
my
yeah, no.
planner.
Yeah, no, I get. Oh, you sound like me. What the heck?
Right.
Hey, wait, hey, what the heck? How are you?
I'm doing okay, doing okay. Can't complain about basketball, that's for sure. It is um summer attire now at the workplace. So today I wore my Tyrese Halliburton shirt to work because we can just wear t-shirts now every day. And I figured that it was a great day to wear them after the bashing the Pacers gave to the Cavs
Dude,
yesterday. We'll talk about that. We'll also
yeah.
talk about the draft lottery. We'll talk about all these playoff series. It's been a crazy last week. Um, we'll get to it. But aside from that, it's been good. I visited my mom for Mother's Day. Surprised her. Because I surprised her, the guest room wasn't ready. My mom is taking on this project that she just started talking to me about. Apparently, she lives in Texas City, and those of you that don't know, Texas City kind of locally, famously has like a dike that you can go on, very similar to a beach. If you don't know what that is, with just some rocks and stuff, it's a cool little area. We drove on it when I was there. Um, they have no sort of souvenirs for said dike. So
Okay.
my mother has decided to take it upon herself to order and make a bunch of souvenirs. She showed me this Chat GPT article that she made or got made for her, I guess, about like how to run a successful like souvenir business. Um,
Hmm.
you know, things you'd find on a beach, I guess.
Yeah.
Things you might need while you're out there, so you don't have to go back into town, etc. You know, knickknacks, lotion, sunscreen. But then they also have like a brand. Like she gave me a shirt of like a brand. I think it's like Texas City Outfitters or something is the brand. So I can wear that shirt at some point, I guess.
I think I mean it's a great idea honestly because I mean it's kind of wild that there isn't a souvenir shop
Right, right,
there.
right.
It's just really funny if you are from the area. It like makes no sense to a local to
Yeah,
like own a Texas City Dyke souvenir.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, there are a lot of tourists, so I mean that's cool.
But the reason I was telling the story is because I went to surprise her. I didn't tell her I was coming, and the guest room I normally stay in was just full of random crap. And I got there at like 11 p.m., so I could not sleep in that room. Luckily for me, it's boxes and boxes, like 50 boxes of stuff in there, like
Yeah.
insane. Um, Luckily for me, what I also didn't know is that my mom purchased an RV that she's going to run the souvenir shop out of. And it's not like a big RV that you drive around. It's like a trailer RV that you attach to your
Ah,
car
gotcha.
that has a really crappy fold-out bed in it, and that's where I slept, and it was very uncomfortable. I think my head was hitting one wall, and my feet were hitting the other wall, and I woke up because it has a skylight in it. So I woke up blinded by the sun. So I tried to make the fun surprise, and then it turned into like a super inconvenience, and I slept terribly and was super tired all day Sunday for actual Mother's Day. And now I'm back, and now it's Monday, and I'm back in Austin. I had a lot of driving the last 48 hours.
Yeah, that's super unfortunate. I know I surprised my dad one time for his birthday. I slept on the couch. Is there not a couch you could have slept on?
I mean, yes and no. It's a loaded question.
Oh,
There,
okay.
there is a
Please
couch. My,
elaborate.
okay.
You don't have to. It's
My
okay.
my mom and my mom's boyfriend do not operate on the same sleep schedule, and he will often be on the couch with the dogs because he has like they have two like giant dogs.
Hmm,
And then I mean they're both of them are like up at 6 in the morning though, regardless. So it
yeah.
would have been difficult for me to sleep.
That makes sense. I get that. Also, yeah, because they're getting ready for work or whatever, and
Yeah.
or it was a weekend, but anyways, just their day.
Sorry, tangent to start, but I just, you
Lovely
asked how I was.
tangents. You ready for another tangent?
Let's go.
How close is my face right now to this
It's
camera? So
really close.
my computer
You're
camera was
so
glitching.
handsome.
So you can just see every part of me, every part of my face. So I have an external camera and I cannot figure out how to zoom out. So I hope everyone watching the pod is enjoying this because God knows I'm trying to. God knows I'm trying my best. Um, but you know what I'm super stoked to talk about? Basketball.
Let's do it. That's what this pod is about, I think. That's what
Oh
they told me.
yeah. No, I thought we were gonna talk about more souvenirs and stuff. Okay, let's talk basketball.
Wow.
Um,
Attacked.
that wait, no, I think it's actually sick. Anyways, basketball. So the Sacramento Kings signed BJ Armstrong, Bulls legend, Charlotte Hornets legend, as their assistant GM under Scott Perry, and Mike Woodson as their associate head coach under Doug Christie.
You know Mike
So
Woodson?
is it like John? No, I was gonna say John Wooden. I'm so dumb. No, I don't know who Mike Woodson
He
is.
used to be the head coach of the Knicks. I know that.
Oh,
That
okay,
was
cool.
probably like 7, 8 years ago.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so King still filling out, their coaching staff
Loading
and
up
their
to be that 10 seed
management.
next year. Yes, sir.
Oh, we're getting ready. We're getting ready.
Coming for you. Uh, Something that came out actually this morning, Giannis expressed he is not sure if Milwaukee will be the best fit going forward, as he is not sure they're going to be a championship contender. And I was kind of irked by this report. It was from Shams because it was like kind of made to be like a almost like a soft trade request. Like, just so you know, guys, I might want to go somewhere else. Start sending your offers in. But in the report I was reading it, Shams said this is the first time this has happened. And I was like, no, it's not. This is like the third time this has happened. The first time they traded for Drew Holiday. The second time they traded Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. This is like the third time. Now, is this the time where, you realize that you absolutely have not enough assets to make yourself a championship contender and there's nothing you can do except trade Giannis? Yes. But it's not like this is not the first time we've talked about it on this pod before. He made like that whole like a New York Times article
Yeah.
last year about it. So yeah, this is not new territory. That was weird. That was a weird inclusion, Shams. I'm coming for your job.
Yeah, come on. Come on, Shams. That's old news. Old news,
Old
man.
news.
You know what's not old news? The Utah Jazz signed coach Will Hardy to a 6-year contract extension through the 2030-2031 NBA season. Kind of a long contract, but I mean, if they want him to be the cornerstone coach of, the next phase of this franchise, I mean, congrats to him. I think the Jazz are a really fun team. Too bad I haven't really seen them really compete yet as Will Hardy as the head coach. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, I mean 6 years definitely a long time. I think he's proved a good young coach, one of the younger coaches in the NBA. It's just a lot can change in 6 years.
Mhm.
So I don't really get the need. Like signing him to a 3-year extension and then re-up him. 6 years just seems weird to lock him down for that long because, what if for some reason, I mean, bad teams become great like out of nowhere like that in the NBA. So, and then if he's not the guy for you, then you have to fire him and pay someone else, which I don't think is what will happen. It's just weird to be like, we're going to sign you forever because there's so many
Yeah.
cases of like coaching situations changing and not working out. The Suns are about to be paying like 5 head coaches next year, so
Yeah. Yeah,
you know.
no, no, I totally agree. 6 years is a long time, but I hope he sticks around. He seems like a pretty good coach.
Yeah, yeah, I like him a lot. I'm not saying anything bad about Will
No,
Hardy. It's
yeah,
just weird.
yeah,
Why don't you take the next one too? Because I'll
yeah.
take the lead
You
on the
actually
lottery.
watched. Yeah, you definitely watched the draft. So, the Mavericks GM Nico Harrison, who I mean, everyone knows who it
We
is now,
love.
which is crazy. I'm a big fan of Nico Harrison.
I'm sure you are.
He's making major changes to the team's health and performance group. He dismissed the athletic performance director he hired last year, as well as their head athletic trainer, among others. My first question really was when I read this and saw this is why is he still there? Um, I don't understand how so much scrutiny can come under one GM and then he is not let go.
That's
It
an
is
easy question
absolute
for me to
is
answer.
is it a contract?
No, it's not a contract. We just talked about the coaches. They'll pay as many
Yeah.
coaches as they need to. I think it's
Yeah.
more about now that the Luka trade has occurred, you have to let him see it through. You can't get rid of him right away. You have to let him kind of try to live out whatever his vision of the team is.
This one lucky guy. That's one luck. I gotta say, we're gonna about to get into the draft. This one lucky guy. It could have gone really poorly.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
unfortunate.
I get that. I mean, I don't. Yeah. Anyways, we don't have to get into the trade because it obviously already happened. But that was my. I think I really. I feel like GMs have been let go for lesser things.
Hmm.
So, but I understand. Wanting to see it through at least like another year or something. Try to like do the best that what he did. I mean, it would suck to let him go, and then some other GM has to like inherit this, and he's like, I didn't know. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I
Hmm.
didn't do this. So maybe he's got a plan.
Yeah. Um, draft lottery.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the draft lottery happened a couple hours ago, 3.5 hours ago or so. It was kind of insane. I want to go through and kind of just recap for the listener in case you haven't listened or read up on it, what happened, and then Dom and I will give you our insane reactions after that. So I'll go through kind of how it was laid out, starting from I think it's more interesting to go from 14 to 1. So this is every team that misses the playoffs. Actually, I should say this: if you don't know what the draft lottery is, um, the NBA basically tries to disincentivize teams from tanking. The way they do this is by making it a lottery system in the draft. So in other sports like the NFL, for example, the worst team gets the first pick, the second worst team gets the second pick, and it just goes like that. In the NBA, the higher you are, the worse you are, the higher chance you have to get the best pick, but it's not guaranteed. And every team that doesn't make the playoffs has a chance to get the number one pick, so on and so forth. So every year there's this crazy like, what team is going to make this crazy jump? What teams are going to fall back? It's kind of this fun little spectacle. Um, yeah. So I'm going to go through the lottery real quick. 14 is the Spurs. This is the Hawks pick from the DeJounte Murray trade. That's exactly what it was supposed to be. 13 is the Hawks. This is the Kings pick from the Kevin Herter trade, I think, maybe. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So those two stayed exactly where they're supposed to be. The Bulls were at 12. That's where they were supposed to be. And then 11 is when we have our first change. So 11 is when the Mavericks were supposed to pick with a 1.8% chance to jump all the way up to 1. Instead, it will now be the Blazers. They fell from 10 to 11. Um, the Rockets, my Houston Rockets, we fell from 9 to 10. And that is a Suns pick. Suns missed the playoffs. We traded for those picks from the Brooklyn Nets, gave the Nets their picks back from the James Harden trade, took the Suns picks from the Kevin Durant trade because I think we wanted to trade for Kevin Durant from the Suns. That never happened. Maybe it'll happen this summer. I don't know.
We'll see.
Um, the Raptors is the next. big change. So this is where the Spurs were supposed to be here at number 9. Spurs jumped up. Um, at number 8, we have the Nets, which
Yeah.
is correct. No. Oh, a couple other teams jumped up too. So now we're just getting the teams that basically fell a spot or two because other teams jumped up.
Yeah. Yep.
At 7, Pelicans, they fell all the way from 4 to 7. The Wizards fell from 2 to 6, so they fell 4 spots. And then the Utah Jazz fell from the number 1 worst record in the NBA all the way to pick 5, which is as far as you can fall, by the way. 4 spots. That's as far as you can fall. So 1 to 5 is the furthest. 2 to 6 is also the furthest. Jazz and Wizards both fall from having top 2 to 5 and 6. So you might be asking yourself as a listener, who jumped up if all these teams fell down? Well, with the number 4 pick, the Hornets. They actually had the number 3 odds, so they also fell. The 3 teams that jumped, the Philadelphia 76ers, after their terrible season with Embiid being injured, Paul George being injured, all sorts of terrible things, they end up with the number 3 pick. Worth mentioning, if this pick fell out of the top 6, it's a Thunder pick. It's top 6 protected. So very close to being an
Wow.
Oklahoma City Thunder asset.
Jeez. Oh my God. Imagine.
And then the San Antonio Spurs, for the 3rd year in a row, jump in the lottery, I believe, all the way to pick number 2. So they were originally supposed to be pick 8, I believe, and they went all the way up to number 2. And then the Dallas Mavericks, 1.8% chance, pick 11. After trading Luka for Anthony Davis, for Kyrie Irving, and making a win now, defense wins championships. Both of their star players get injured. They fall out of the playoffs and into the pick that will likely be Cooper Flagg. Nico Harrison is smiling somewhere.
You genius. You
Uh,
beautiful
and
genius.
he, and I kind of hate it because I'm like, oh my God, like I know Mavericks fans. I know they had to just go through half a season of Luka torment after being traded, and this is kind of like a yay, here's the makeup. I talked to Brian about this earlier, my mom's boyfriend who thinks everything is rigged, and you bet he thinks this was rigged. He was like, yeah, Adam Silver wanted Luka to go to the Lakers, and he guaranteed them the number 1 pick. Fair conspiracy, I suppose.
That at least makes
Yeah,
sense. You know
I'm
what I
like
mean? Like it's
he was
not
telling me,
just
and I was
like
like, I don't really have arguments, I guess.
yeah, it's like sure, who knows?
So, um, my pick, my beloved Rockets in the Texas, we fall to 10, and the other 2 Texas teams have 1 and 2. Jazz, by the way, falling to 5, 3rd year in a row, the number 1 odd team has fallen all the way to 5. It was the Pistons in back-to-back years before this.
Yeah, and then
Um,
Hawks jumped up to 1 last year.
Yeah.
Remember that. That's
So my question, Dom, to you, before it was the Pistons, and now the Jazz.
hmm
Who was the last team to fall from 1 to 5?
Was this 2021?
Um,
Or like just in general, who was the
it-
last team to fall from
yeah,
1 to
it doesn't
5?
happen that often.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it was like the Lakers or something.
It's fair. It's fair. Yeah, it's actually never happened until the last 3 years, and it happened 3 years in a row.
You're joking. 3 years
It is
in
a
a
trick
row? I'm
question.
with Brian. It's rigged. It's rigged.
It's not looking great.
Dude, well,
Yeah,
I mean, okay, so what was your besides like let's like the Rockets bias, which is a
right.
bit there, what's your like reaction to the top 5 picks? Let's talk about it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I understand the idea of disincentivizing tanking, but I think we're kind of going in a scary direction. Because for years I've kind of thought about what is my opinion on the lottery. Like I don't know if I like it or not. This lottery makes me not like the lottery because I truly think the Jazz, the Wizards, the Hornets, those 3 teams in particular, all kind of traded their relative assets, have young players they just need to develop, and they are
Yeah.
going to be bad teams. They exist in every sport. Teams that are just young and kind of trying to figure themselves out. And if they can never get the guy, or whoever, I don't see how that's going to change. Because instead of the Jazz, Wizards, and Hornets being the top three, we ended up with Mavericks, Spurs, 76ers. Mavericks already have Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. I mean, they are expected to be a playoff team. They just missed because of injuries, really. The Spurs have Wimby, generational prospect they just got. They got Castle last year. They traded for De'Aaron Fox. They have also been like dominant my entire lifetime. And then the 76ers were also supposed to be a playoff team. They just had really bad injury luck. But this is a team that has been in, multiple postseason runs recently. So instead of the really, really bad teams getting the top picks, now it's three teams that had, unfortunate seasons in which they missed the playoffs, really all due to injuries, all three of these teams. And now they're getting the top three players instead of the teams that I think really need it. So I'm thinking this lottery has made me kind of anti-lottery.
I think there's got to be a better way to like ensure that teams that aren't like that just barely it has to be. But I also don't I because I love the idea of decentralizing tanking because I hate tanking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
And it
especially
did work.
within
I mean, teams don't tank really, I don't think.
yeah
Like I think the teams that are bad are the bad teams. Like it's not
yeah
like teams are purposefully losing. I think the only time you really ever see that is like the last two games of the regular season to try to get the playoff matchup you want, maybe.
yeah
Or if you're like, there's no point in us being the eight seed, let's just lose one extra game.
yeah.
But other than that, I haven't seen a lot of tanking in the modern NBA, and maybe that is because that's what the lottery has done, and that's what the play-in has done, and things like that. But I think it's time to adjust again.
I absolutely agree because like I mean any these top three teams don't need a Cooper flag. They already like we just talked about. But like the Hornets, are you since I've been alive, they have needed someone like and they got LaMelo Ball, but I mean, whatever reason, he's not really he's the guy. Obviously, he's a all-star cusp player, but he's not getting them to that next level. And it's like, how
Right.
are they supposed to get that guy now if they
Yeah.
keep falling out? Same as the Jazz and the Wizards, and that's what makes it feel terrible. Also, what I really dislike too, but even before this draft came out, is that there are a lot of like ESPN pundits or people like telling basically, hey, you should not declare for the draft this year. Wait a year because you don't want to get drafted by the Wizards.
Mm,
And I was like, that is, what are you talking about? Like, that is, you cannot choose the team you want to go to. Like, just, that's so unethical. It's
hmm.
just, this makes no,
And we're all about ethical ball here.
I know that's kind of why I brought it up. We love that ethical ball. So yeah, I don't love these results, and I have no horse in this race whatsoever. I just also think it's so funny that the Bulls keep not like I mean, they fumbled the number four seat spot with Patrick Williams for sure, but
Disaster.
like, yeah, they really. I mean, they also didn't trade for a lot of picks. That's on them. But
So
regardless,
I
they're
want to
gonna
talk
be
about the Bulls for a sec.
okay.
So the Bulls had a 1.7% chance. The Mavs had a 1.8% chance. The way these percentages were decided, the Bulls and Mavericks had the same exact record. They played each other twice. They both won one game. So same record, same tiebreaker. They flipped a coin. Mavericks won the coin toss, and then they end up getting the number one pick. The Bulls win that coin toss. The Cooper Flag goes to the Bulls.
Wow. Can we get a
So
moment of silence for the Chicago Bulls? Well, here's the thing: they got a
the draft
poach,
lottery was in Chicago, by the way.
dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Was the Pope there for it?
That's good.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, I'm happy for Mavericks fans, but I'm devastated for literally everyone else. Also, all my friends that are Spurs fans, you're okay. You're okay. You didn't get the first seed. Okay,
All of my
you're gonna
friends
be
that are
fine.
Spurs fans, go fuck yourself.
You're fine. I promise you. I
You've been ruining
promise
me my
you.
whole life.
Yeah, I promise you. You're fine. Hey, hey, it's okay. You're fine. You're
Looking at
gonna
you,
be fine.
Rob.
Shout out, Rob. Um, but yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be interesting. And I really only know one name in this draft, which is Cooper Flag, obviously. So,
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he'll go first to the Mavericks. That makes
Yeah.
total sense. But like, who's like two and three?
Yeah, so Cooper Flagg's number one. Mavericks are an interesting team to get the number one pick. Theoretically, Nico Harrison is trying to go all in with Anthony Davis, Kyrie. Cooper Flagg doesn't really fit that. You could see, I mean, and in the Nico Harrison brain, which is not my brain, because my brain works. He,
Because your brain's not a Lakers fan. He's like, how do I get Cooper Flag on the Lakers? Here we go.
I was thinking like a, number one pick for KD. Like
Yeah.
spinning it like that. If he wants the win now, the tough defense. I mean, Kyrie, KD, Anthony Davis. I mean, that
There is an
you know,
argument because you know what you're getting with that. You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? Like there's kind of no okay. If you draft Cooper Flag, there's an expectation, but there's also he doesn't have to play. Like you have a team, you know what I mean? If he doesn't fit. So there's no pressure that way. If you trade it, I mean that's the second time you got to really back it up. But the thing is if you trade it and you get someone who is a generational defender or that's, player, whoever it could be, I mean it could kind of work out, but I mean that is just we have to wait to find out to see what he decides.
How
It's
many
just
white
crazy.
saviors will the Mavericks get in a row?
That's also insane. They're like Trey Young, no, 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 Luca. And it's like Cooper Flag, yeah,
Dirk,
come on, come here,
Luca,
Dirk, come on, Dirk, come on,
Cooper.
come on, yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy.
But no, after the one pick, it looks like Dylan Harper, guard, is going to be kind of the number two pick. He's from Rutgers, and then the number three pick is another guy from Rutgers, Ace Bailey, but he's kind of fallen off, I think, in terms of stock. I think it wouldn't be a shocker if he didn't go number three. Um, but he's like a big like 3-and-D kind of wing guy.
Yeah,
Um, so that's like the big three, but I think it is in that order. Like Cooper Flagg's definitely one, and Dylan Harper is definitely two. And then Ace
yeah,
Bailey is like probably three. The weird thing about that though with Dylan Harper, because he's like a guard, is that the Spurs just got Castle and they traded for Fox, so he kind of doesn't really fit in, at least as a starting piece. Uh, I know we've been texting about this a little bit, but perhaps the Spurs become a Giannis destination. Number two pick, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, maybe Castle if you have to throw him in there. Whoever
yeah,
you got to make it work. Giannis and Wemby on the same team with the Aaron Fox, that'd be kind of nutty.
dude, dude.
But
I don't even want to think
try to
about
score
that.
on that front court. Good luck.
Dude, the lobs, no paint, no paint, no paint shots, all
Yeah.
just throwing threes up and hoping you make it. Yeah, that'd be insane.
Which, by the way, I mean we should mention with the Giannis thing and the draft lottery does kind of play
Yeah,
a big part into that with some of these teams that have those high picks that the Bucks maybe would desire.
yeah,
Um, we'll we'll see him in Houston though. Keep holding on to
yeah,
that hope
yeah.
that
We'll see you,
we trade Shingun and Jalen Green and whoever else for him.
dude.
Um,
That'd be wild. I was thinking if the Rockets trade for Giannis and they throw in Jalen Green, it's gonna be KPJ and Jalen Green all over again.
oh God.
But thankfully, I don't have to watch that.
I don't have to think. I don't have to think about the Bucks. I just want to think about the Giannis.
Yeah, just think about the good part where you have Giannis. All right. Well, let's talk about round two.
Let's talk about
You,
round two.
you need to tell every listener, you need to tell me something right now. Right now.
Yeah. So I was listening to our last episode during my drive to go down for Mother's Day because I had a lot of time on my hands. And I think literally we spent like 15 minutes on predicting round two. Like it was the very end of that episode. And I was basically I picked every series in 5 games. And I picked the home team to win every series in 5 games. That is currently not possible with any series except the Wolves and Warriors, which is on right now, game four. Still technically possible. It's not possible in any of the other series already. And it's not even likely that the home teams are going to win some of these other series too. So I have to apologize to my underdogs. Starting with the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton. I'm rocking the shirt. Yes, sirs. We got to root
Oh
for
my
yes, sir.
God.
I love yes, sirs. I love it. It's grown on
I
me
know
so
you
much.
do. I hate
Um,
it.
I loved it immediately, and it just keeps getting better. But what I think helps is that when I see the Cavs shirt, and the Cavs shirt says the diff. Uh,
That's
and
worse.
and I was looking into like what is the diff? Is it just short for difference? Yes. Um, but not only is it just short for difference, apparently on the Cavs broadcast, like when you watch the local Cavs broadcast, and if you go to their stadium, they have the difference, and it's just the math of how much they're winning the game by. That's what the difference is. Yes, we know.
I've noticed that. I thought it was only when it was like, a lot of a lead, a big lead. But I was watching during the year I had League Pass, so I was watching some Cavaliers games, and it would always have like Cavs +1 or like -5. When I saw it, would always be like +12, -13. I'm like, okay, maybe people have tough time doing math, so it's just there. But then it would do it when it was like +1, -2, and I'm like, no need to know that. That's for sure.
So when I'm comparing yes sirs to the diff,
Yeah,
I gotta like yes sirs a lot more.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so I gotta
sure.
apologize to Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers and the whole state of Indiana. I gotta apologize to the Knicks for coming out and having a 3-1 lead. We'll get to that. We'll get to it. But 3-1 lead over the Celtics. And then even the Nuggets have given the Thunder a run for their money so far. So three out of those four series that I said were easy 5 game predictions do not look like the case. And the series I thought was going to be the most interesting, Wolves Warriors, has probably been the least interesting in the second round. So, I mean, my predictions, like, I'm sure in the offseason we'll do a best takes, worst takes episode like we did in years past. This will be on there. My round two predictions will be on there because it has looked rough. So I apologize to all of my teams that I counted out early. I said I'm ready for the conference finals. Let's go. But I was not because round two has truly been a joy.
Yeah. Well, first of all, like, you're forgiven, number one.
Thank you,
But
thank you.
also, it's not that I picked Cavaliers to win the series too. Also, I picked Knicks to win, then I changed the Celtics. But I did think it would be more competitive, but I didn't even think it was gonna be like this. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like I didn't think it was gonna be 3-1 series. I thought it would be 3-2 and then 3-3 or 4-2. You know what I mean? Like I thought it'd be 6 or 7 games. Like some of these could be a 5 game series the opposite way that you've said, which is what's like
Yeah.
that's what's really the mind blowing part. And no one would have guessed it. Like I guarantee you, no one was like, actually, I don't. I actually thought the Pacers were going to do it in four. I was like, no, they did. No, you didn't. There's no way. Um. Anywho, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about
Let's
the
talk
East.
about it.
In the East, Cavaliers, Pacers. Pacers won yesterday by like 77 points or something. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but they were up by almost 60 at one point. That is the truth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but we'll get to game four. Before the series started, or was it during game
I think it was
one?
during the series. I just put it at the top because might as well.
Yeah, I think it was after game one. The Cavaliers head coach Kenny Atkinson was named coach of the year, who is what we thought. So congratulations to him.
I called it.
Yeah, great job. I mean, they had a great season. I mean, they had 17-0 start, which is maybe never happened. I don't think it's ever happened. I
Yeah,
forget what
I
it
don't
was.
think so.
So congratulations to him. Was kind of bittersweet, I'm sure, at this point. But let's talk a little bit about the game. So the
Yeah,
Pacers came back in the fourth quarter to win game one. The Cavaliers did not have Darius Garland. He came back in game three.
yeah.
And then Donovan Mitchell and Ty Jerome took 50 combined shots. And the one thing I want to mention is that like Donovan Mitchell is doing the most. He's doing everything he can for this
Yeah.
Cavaliers team. Ty Jerome, not looking good.
He
Not
is
looking that
he
good.
is decreasing the money he's about to get paid this summer.
And it is so unfortunate because I would have loved for him to get sixth man of the year. Would have loved it.
Yeah.
Anyone than Peyton Pritchard. But that's just me being
Ty Jerome
but
is the diff. Um,
he is the diff. But yeah, Ty Jerome unfortunately just has not looked that good this series.
no.
He hit some shots yesterday when they were down by 40. So,
Yeah, yeah,
what is
yeah.
that? What is that gonna do? Do you want to go game by game? You want to take the next
Yeah,
one?
yeah. Actually, if I could jump on that a little bit,
Please. Yeah.
you mentioning Ty Jerome hitting shots down by 40. This is something I think I hadn't maybe taken it into enough consideration in this series and the Thunder Nuggets series in particular. Um, the Cavs and Thunder, both one seeds this year, they did not face a lot of pressure. throughout the regular season. Most of their games, they are just walloping teams. And it's not super competitive. Their point differentials are insane. Don't have a lot of clutch time, yada, yada, yada. And I think that's great. What has happened now is in the playoffs, and some of these teams, like the Pacers, who I didn't think were as good of a team, I still don't think talent wise, if you put player next to player, I would still probably say the Cavs are more talented. But the Pacers did make the conference finals last year, and they did have a lot of adversity. And then now they're coming back with basically the same exact team, with just like a healthy Benedict Mathurin or whatever, and all that experience they accrued from last year. And on the other side, the Thunder are battling the champion 2 years ago, Denver Nuggets, who have definitely done this before with that core. Um, so I think the amount of pressure and adversity that the Thunder and Cavaliers did not face in the regular season did not prepare them for this, or even the pressure they faced in the first round. The Heat. We did not think the Heat were going to beat the Cavs. We did not think the Grizzlies were going to beat the Thunder. So they kind of just cakewalked through those series. Now they're finally facing like battle-tested teams with experience who have been in these moments, and they just don't quite know what to do. They don't know how to adjust. Um, I think sometimes it feels like there's like a lack of urgency, which is weird because the Pacers are like boom, 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 like they are flying up and down the court. They are making the most of every moment, whereas the Cavs kind of seem lost at times. And I mean, you did mention Garland is out until game three. Game two, they're missing Garland, Mobley, and Hunter. So started off the series a little rocky, but even like they almost seem. I know you don't want to panic when you're in these situations. They almost seem too calm though. Like they're not quite urgent enough.
Yeah.
And I think the same can kind of be said on the other side for the Thunder. They haven't really dealt with anything like the Nuggets in terms of like, the championship pedigree and stuff like that. And when they're not kind of operating how they normally have been all season, and now they have to take and adjust, they've been kind of struggling with that because they haven't had to do that a lot. Whereas the Nuggets have done it for years. So
Literally, yeah.
I think the pressure and like adjustment these two one seeds haven't faced is really coming to fruition in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great point. It would also be great. I don't know how to look it up just to see how much clutch time they did play throughout the season. I guarantee you, not as much as the Pacers and not as much as the like Knicks for sure against the Celtics or
Yeah.
like the Nuggets. So, I think that's a really great point, honestly. When I have watched these games, it did really look like they're just going with the motions and they just kind of like gave in almost. I remember watching Cavaliers Heat and like the Heat would get the lead sometimes at the end of the game, but then Donovan Mitchell would go on a 12-0 scoring run on his own and they would win the game.
Hmm.
And I haven't seen that kind of like that urgency that you mentioned, especially like in clutch time at the fourth quarter because the first two games were really close. Like it could have gone either way, especially game two.
Yeah. Tell me about
You
it.
want to? Oh, you want me to take it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sure. So the
I know
Pacers,
you. I think I had to go back to this one. I'm pretty sure you watched at least the end of it live.
I did watch it
Yeah.
live. It was insane. I watched it live. My roommates were in the room, and I screamed. And they were like, "What's happening?" And they're like, "You don't get it." Like I could explain it,
Basketball.
but they wouldn't get it. So the Pacers again come back and win in the fourth quarter to take game two on a Tyrese Halliburton. Okay, so it was a game winner. It was a three,
Yeah.
but what he did is he got his own offensive rebound from a free throw miss, I believe. And I don't think it was on purpose. It didn't look like it was a purposeful miss. He got the rebound, goes back, and he does this, and he makes a three. And he does the. Did you know? Did he get a fine for the big ball
He
celebration?
got a fine for the big ball celebration for sure.
Okay,
Maybe I
uh,
just saw a lot of discourse that he was going to get fined for it, but
that's what I'm
uh
saying. I didn't see
yeah, I don't
any like anything
know.
official.
The
Um,
Cavs up five with 45 seconds left. I'm
yeah,
looking at back at the end right now.
yeah, and it's just the Cavaliers just like let the game get away from them, and they let Tyrese Halliburton get that rebound, make the shot, and then when he made it, it was like 1.2 seconds left, and they had no timeouts, and that was the game. Like
Yeah.
that was it. It was incredible to see. The Pacers also had very similar comeback wins like this against the Bucks in the first round. So congrats to the Pacers just again for like not giving up. Also, we even have really haven't mentioned this if you don't watch basketball. They didn't have home court advantage. This is both games are in Cleveland,
Hmm.
and they go in there and they win both games. That is almost a done deal in the league for the series.
I don't
Just
even remember this play. I've watched back through the highlights.
yeah,
Pascal Siakam lays it up with about 30-ish seconds left. Cavs get the ball, called timeout. Max Strus just throws it away on their inbound to Nimhard. And now they're coming back the other way with about 20 seconds left.
dude, I
Like
forgot about that too.
so many ways to not lose this game.
Yeah, really. It's just so many mistakes down the stretch it's just especially in these moments you can't be doing that. You really can't. Um
Yeah, it looks like
so
uh, Halliburton fouled the layup, makes the first one, misses the second one, gets the rebound, and then makes
takes it
a
back,
makes a
makes
three.
three.
Yeah,
I did not think he was gonna make it. I was watching like I mean my roommates were talking, I was watching on my phone, and then he takes it back, steps back, makes it, and I jump out of my seat and I scream. And yeah, then they didn't get it. They're like, okay. It's like, come on, guys. So again, we should mention that in game two, they did not have Cavaliers did not have Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, or DeAndre Hunter. But Donovan Mitchell did go off for 48 points, but a forgotten 48 points because they lost.
yeah. You mentioned Donovan Mitchell doing a lot of stuff earlier in the series. First game, 13 of 30 was not pretty. And then Ty Jerome took 20 shots, which is maybe a little too much for Ty Jerome. But what I will say, what I've noticed from him in the series that he's done a really good job of is attacking the rim.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
he has been applying massive rim pressure and getting other Cavaliers plenty of shots. Just have not been falling for them. Um,
Yeah, and also
so-
I think what because he is going to the rim and getting those like foul calls and getting free throws, he's absolutely gassed by the fourth quarter.
oh,
Like
he
you could
is.
he is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
physically just like hands on knees, just breathing, just trying to make it up and down the court. And that's been very evident in all the games that in the first two games. Game three was a little bit different. So the Cavaliers got back Garland, Mobley, and Hunter and took care of business. I mean, they just did their brand of basketball and won in Indianapolis. So
Yeah.
they just did what they needed to do. Who would have thought? And they won. So
Yeah.
maybe we're like,
And I thought the
yeah,
waters were gonna settle a little bit. I was like, okay, okay. I
yeah,
remember the Jared Allen, post game presser after they got waxed by the Knicks a couple years ago, and he said the lights were too bright.
yeah,
Um, well, game four, those lights were blinding
yeah,
because wow, what a absolute slaughter. Like maybe the worst game in terms of point differential in playoffs that I have seen in a minute. And I think it only ended with like 20 points, but at times it was like 50, almost 60 points. It was embarrassing, to say
and
the least.
I do. And before we go into it, I do want to mention that in the first round, the Cavaliers were on the opposite side of that, they were beating the Heat by almost like 45 points, I
Yeah.
think. So I don't think they got up to 50, 60, but it was the other side of that
And this is
coin.
worse because the Cavaliers are the one seed.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's like, and this is not expected in the second round of the playoffs whatsoever. Can you tell me a little bit about the beginning of the game? Because I missed the beginning.
yeah, so the beginning of the game, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, the Pacers just play with so much speed and pace, if you will, so much ferocity. They are just flying up and down the court. They look like they want to win the basketball game. That's about how I can define that, and I just am not getting that from the Cavs. They're constantly just being beat up and down the court. And then throughout the series, there has been this weird Benedict Mathurin DeAndre Hunter thing. I believe it was game one. Benedict Mathurin blocked him at the rim, and like the ball kind of fell on him, and he gave him a little stare. And then like game three, Benedict Mathurin I think stole a ball that was inbounded for DeAndre Hunter, and then like I think DeAndre Hunter like fouled him immediately. Not anything big, just like a little take foul or whatever. And they were just kind of staring at each other. Game four, they were talking to each other, and the refs double teched them because they didn't want anything to spiral out of control. So clearly, just some beef brewing between these two guys. And then here in, I'm sorry, this was game four. Here in
Yeah,
game
yeah.
four, um, Pacers I think are already up 11, like pretty early on in the first quarter, and there was a foul, off-ball foul, not related to DeAndre Hunter or Bennett Mather, and they're just standing by like the free throw line, and whistle blows, and then you just hear like a crowd reaction, and you see DeAndre Hunter has pushed Benedict Mather on the floor, and then Miles Turner goes over and like runs into him. And then on the replay, you actually see what happened. DeAndre Hunter's standing there. They call the foul. Benedict Mather just like kind of just hits him right in the chest, just like a little short little sucker punch kind of. And it didn't look super hard, but DeAndre Hunter wasn't even looking at him. So like I imagine he was probably what just happened? Like I just got punched. And it's so funny because after he does it, he Benedict Mather backs away and like puts his hands up, and then
Yeah.
DeAndre Hunter like looks at his chest and then he looks at Benedict Mather and he points at him. he walks over there and just pushes him on the ground, and then the Pacers fans go like, "Oh my God, what? How could he?" And then Miles Turner like runs over and pushes him out of the
Yeah.
way. They gave Benedict Mather a flagrant two and ejected him, which was kind of wild. I was not expecting that. Then they gave DeAndre Hunter and Miles Turner techs, which offset. So that happened, and when that happened, I thought also DeAndre Hunter did this like when they're announcing it, he's looking at Benedict Mathurin across the court and he's doing this. Like I'm in your head, like a
Oh my
speaker or something at the noggin.
God.
And DeAndre Hunter is it's so funny because he's so mild mannered. Like he doesn't usually get like
Yeah.
very like screamy or anything. Benedict Mathurin's kind of the opposite. But like they start making the call and he's just looking at him like ha ha ha. His
Mind
hands,
games.
his fingers to his
Mind
temples. It's
games.
really funny. And the Pacers were up like 11, like I said, and I thought, oh, this could be the switch that the Cavs need. Pacers get their guy, they got a guy ejected. It was the opposite. The Pacers just were on fire, and I think halftime it was 80-39. And I said, okay, mom, this is a 41-point game, and it's 9 p.m. So I'm gonna go ahead and drive back to Austin now because I don't need to watch the rest of this.
Yeah.
This one's out of hand.
Yeah, I remember the beginning of the second quarter, the Pacers were up, I think, almost by 20. And throughout almost by the end of the second half, the Cavaliers only had five made field goals.
Yeah,
That's insane. That is inexcusable.
yeah. They're just
Mostly
not. I
points
mean,
from foul from yeah. I don't know
not
that
getting it
I
from
and then I
Ty
mean
Jerome. They're not getting it from anyone except Donovan Mitchell.
yeah. And
Pretty
now and
much.
now you're going home to Cleveland.
Going home to
You're down
Cleveland,
you're
game
down
five,
3-1.
down 3-1. Yeah, this is rough.
Have not
Um,
won a game in Cleveland yet this series.
yeah,
No momentum. That's just I'm like
it's
is okay. Do you think do you think it's gonna be 4-1?
that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, yes,
I kind of think it
I
is
definitely
too.
think the Pacers are winning the series. I don't think the
Yeah,
Cavs have any chance at coming back. So my Cavs and five prediction, you can throw that out the door. Um, I think
it's
the
gone.
Pacers definitely win. I think six is the most that it goes.
Yeah.
Just
There's
that the
no
Cavs
way.
managed to live through game
Yeah.
five. But the Pacers are kicking ass. Like they look so good, and it sucks
Yeah.
because I fucking hate the jerseys they wear at home and away games.
We gotta. This is not okay. Indiana, you are not okay. If you are thinking it's okay to wear the White City jerseys you have this
The
season,
fucking graffiti city
not
jerseys at
good.
home.
Not good.
I like the
Or
court. I like that the court's like gray. It's kind of cool, but that's about it.
that is it's like almost neutral for me. That is still so bad. And then you have the audacity to when the Cavaliers wear white to wear your yellow
The
uniforms that are
yellow.
almost half white. I'm like, what
I feel
is
like I've
going
watched so
through?
much Pacers basketball in like the last 3 years, and I can't think of a single time I saw them wear their navy blue
The
jerseys.
navy blue. The
Like they
navy
just
blue is a
don't wear them
good
anymore.
jersey. It's a good jersey. It is a good, simple jersey.
I hate the yellow jersey, man. I hate it.
I I hate it. I hate it so much. Why? Why? Why do they keep doing this? Two playoffs in a row. And here's the thing: we're probably gonna have to watch this again in the conference finals.
Oh yeah.
What the
Oh
heck?
yeah.
At least I
Right.
remember last year they did wear the yellow jersey every single game in the playoffs. They did
Yeah.
not even do. Yeah,
It's like this defaults as our home and away jersey. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like what 2K, what glitch am I in where they just like can't change? Have any Pacers players like stood out to you? I know yesterday Obi Toppin stood out to me because he was like
He was
running up and
draining
down the
threes left and
court,
right.
draining threes.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
turned himself into a shooter. He was not a shooter
Yeah.
as a member of the Knicks.
Mm-mm.
No, I put it on here. Nimhard. Nimhard. Where did this guy come from? Second round pick last year, 31st pick, I believe, first pick of the second round. Rookie last year when he made like those huge shots against the Knicks in that playoff series. Now here he is a year later, second year player, starting shooting guard, and he's just awesome. Like he just looks like he's built for the moment constantly. He's a dog on defense when he can be, and then on offense he does secondary creation, shot making, all the things you want from like not your star player, but like your second, third guy. He is just nailing it. Um, I probably should have put Siakam. Siakam has been like an amazing player on the Pacers ever since he's been there, basically.
Yeah, what I also love about Siakam is that he didn't have perfect game like the first two games. They weren't like he was good, but he was kind of silent. Like it really wasn't his show. And what was so nice is that he didn't have to be. Like I feel like he didn't have to take over the game. Like there's so many guys you can spread the wealth to. I mean, like also like TJ McConnell coming off the bench behind
Yeah.
Halliburton has been insanely good. Just so good. Just that spark that these guys need. And yeah, it's hard to find a weak spot. I mean, okay, I found it. Thomas Bryant as your center. But
Dude, I
besides,
saw Thomas Bryant come in the other day and I said, who's that? Who did they just put on the court? I said, that's Thomas Bryant. Why? I said, that's disrespectful. Y'all are playing Thomas Bryant
yeah.
against them.
Yeah, so that's obviously their weak
The
spot.
Pacers are so deep,
But
though.
Miles Turner is so good. I mean, gotta shout out Miles
Ben
Turner too.
Shepherd came in. I mean, I was like,
Sunk
I
some
forgot this
threes.
guy played on this team last year. He only played yesterday because the Bathard got ejected.
Yeah.
Um, and then after that, Jarris Walker, U of H legend, drafted last year,
Yeah.
number 8 pick,
Great
doesn't
defense. Yeah,
play for them. Second round pick, Andrew Nimhard, he's awesome. Guy that we drafted in the lottery doesn't play. Like,
dude.
there's so many guys. I don't get it.
Yeah. But yeah, also Aaron Neesmith got a shout out. I will say I think the only negative I will say that I've seen from like this defensive intensity that they play with, I love it. I love it. I love it. I would never complain about that. But yesterday I noticed when they were up by like 50, the Cavaliers got a breakaway like layup,
Yeah.
and I can't remember who it was, maybe DeAndre Hunter, but he was just fouled so hard at the rim. Like
Mm.
just and he was in the air. I was
Yeah,
like, that
yeah,
could have
yeah.
been really bad. I was like, I just wish
Well, they
sometimes
they
when
didn't like DeAndre Hunter yesterday, that's for sure.
I don't think it was him though. Maybe I think it was Max Strus. It was somebody. I was like, if it was DeAndre Hunter, I'd be like, okay, yeah, he pushed Matherin.
Max
It-
Strus is very unlikable. I don't know why. Every time I'm watching him in the
it's the
playoffs, I'm just
hair.
like, the hair is really bad. I really don't like
I
the hair.
think it's the hair. But yeah, I hope they're taking more care when they are, trying to defend in the air. I just don't want to see anyone get injured. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
especially when they're up by 50 and they make a
That
shot. It's
that
like,
place was rocking. Like it was a festival in
yeah.
there.
Yeah, so it's like, just let them get the layup. Like you'll be up by 48. Okay, fine. Just, I don't want anyone to get hurt like that. But yeah, I mean Pacers in 5 seems so likely they're playing tomorrow
In
or
five, as
Wednesday.
predicted.
As yeah, just the other end of it. Shall we continue
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the next
please.
series in the East? Yeah, yeah. So you put this note, made me very, very happy. So we're gonna talk about the Knicks Celtics.
Yeah,
Knicks win game 4 today. They're up 3-1.
yeah.
And I'm going to read this note verbatim because I love it. Quoting Dom, take a victory lap. You do not like that the Lakers, oh, whoa. You do
Whoa,
not like that
whoa,
the,
whoa!
oh, you do not like that the Celtics live and die by the three, and so far they have died. They missed 75 three-pointers in the first two games. End quote. Beautiful.
75 is crazy.
75 is, I don't even want that. Like,
Not they attempted 75. They missed 75.
yeah, like that is. I mean, look, I love being right, but at what cost? I mean, Jesus. I will also say, like, even though the Knicks did win game 1 and game 2, they barely did. They were not
Yeah.
in the lead a lot of these games. They came back in the fourth quarter, thanks a lot to Clutch Player of the Year, Jalen Brunson, and I think they won by 1 or 2 points each
Yeah,
game.
they were both
And
one possession victories.
Yeah, well, let's talk about each game because it deserves the end deserves a shout out.
For
But
sure.
let's talk about game one. I mean, Mikal Bridges, game one and game two. But Mikal Bridges, this defensive stops have been insane. Game one was a steal from Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, just ripped it out of his
He
hands
ripped it out of his hands.
and then threw the ball up. So
Yeah,
game
so he
over.
couldn't get fouled. And then game two, Jason Tatum tries to tries to dribble down toward the paint. They can't get into the paint. Kind of dribbles around to the elbow. Mikal Bridges is on him, and he jumps. Can't find a shot. Twists to like pass it. Mikal Bridges just takes it,
Yep.
and that's game.
And then threw it up
And
again.
threw it up again. I mean, talk about like history repeating itself, like game after game is crazy. So shout out Mikal Bridges. He did not have great offensive games, game one or game two.
hmm
He came alive in game two. He went on like his own 7-0 run, I think, when Jalen Brunson was out in the beginning of the
Oh
fourth
yes,
quarter.
yeah, it
Um,
was like a 7-0, 9-2, something like that. Yeah, he went on a
yeah,
crazy run by himself. It was
yeah, he was
awesome.
just getting his mid-range shot and just sinking them and got him back in the game. And then that defense is really what won those first two games. I also want to shout out OG Anunoby, who's been playing amazing defense. So that's why you got these guys. Literally, I'm watching the series and I'm like, they look like they're matched up pretty well. I'm like, oh,
That's why.
literally
That's
why.
why.
Yeah. You want to talk about like the Celtics side real quick? I don't want to take over.
No, I feel like I talked a lot about the lottery, and then I probably just talked a little long about the Pacers. So I'm trying to let you cook a little bit, you know.
Okay, I'll cook,
And I
I'll
know
cook.
I know you're a big Celtics hater, so
I
uh,
mean, I'll quote again, Dom, take a victory lap.
yeah,
No, well, there have been some Celtics woes. I mean, you want
yeah.
to touch on that real quick? Yeah.
So Drew Holiday was out game one, which is whatever. I think I think I love Drew Holiday. You love Drew Holiday. Shout out Drew Holiday, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice winner this year.
Yep.
Uh, I feel like he's won that award already like 8 times somehow.
He has.
He's a good guy. I don't
Yeah.
know. And also game two, by the way, he was back for game two. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was on Brunson, somehow got behind Brunson, reached and hit the ball as Brunson was going up, and Brunson just like dropped it and they called a foul, and then Brunson hit the free throws, and that's what put them up before the Mikal Bridges play you mentioned. It wasn't a
Oh,
foul. I watched that play live and I was like, that was not a foul. Um,
okay. I can't remember. I believe it though. I
it,
mean,
it's like
there have been so much like
Brunson was going up for like a
oh, and
shot, and Holiday was behind him. And he just like reached in and hit the ball, and Brunson just basically did the thing the players do, and they're like and they were
yeah.
like foul, and I was like wow, I don't know. You
Okay,
hate
I
to see a
gotcha.
game and done that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Um, Tatum apparently had an injured wrist, perhaps. The whispers of broken have been out there, playing with like a bone, not a whole broken wrist, but like a bone in there that hasn't been quite right. Jalen Brown had the knee thing coming into the playoffs. Porzingis, I don't know. He's still dying from some illness that we don't know. He plays like 12 minutes a game, so I don't
Dude,
know what's
what is this
happening.
virus?
Yeah,
How do you, dude, how do you have a virus and they're like, we're working on it? Like, what do you mean?
he comes in and then like they play Luke Cornett instead, and I'm like Luke Cornett actually kind of looks better. Um, I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, it's been a weird series for the Celtics players. I mean, I think similar to the point I made about the pressure with the Cavs and the Thunder, I think the Celtics kind of not that they haven't experienced pressure, but after winning the championship last year, it does feel like the season was kind of a coast for them. And this is kind of the first time they've been faced with like real adversity, because they kind of just, coming off the championship, the Olympics, right? The Olympics just happened. Some of them were involved in that. I think
Mm.
they kind of just played it cool for a lot of this season and assumed they would kind of just walk back into the conference finals at the very least. And that doesn't seem to be the case. So
It's kind of like someone was saying that all season. It's crazy. Um,
it's him.
Ow! Oh! Okay. Well, kind of swing it back to the Knicks. It's so they have two All Stars on their team, Jalen Brunson. Haven't mentioned Karl Anthony Towns yet. Kind of a silent series in the respect of like he is making shots, but he's not being flashy. He only took two total threes in the first two games. But he played really great defense today on Jason Tatum is actually what I noticed. They're trying to get him on the switch because obviously they're trying to get off. They don't want Mikal Bridges on them or OG and Anunoby, so they're trying to get Cat, who's a little bit slower, but he's been doing really well holding himself up against like Tatum and Brown and whatnot. But he's still doing what needs to be done. We haven't mentioned it. Mitchell Robinson, like when he is allowed to play on the court, when the Celtics don't just hack him to take free throws, has looked really good because he's the tallest guy out there and gets rebounds.
Yeah, talk about that. Um, Not only is he so good, they literally hacked Mitchell Robinson not to take free throws, but because they saw that OG Anunoby was going to substitute into the game for Mitchell Robinson. And they said, yes, please, get Mitchell Robinson off the court. We don't know what to do with him. That's how good Mitchell Robinson has been. Is they were like, just foul him to get him out of the game so we could deal with OG Anunoby, premier wing defender instead, because we can't handle Mitchell Robinson. Crazy.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, and also when he went to the free throw line when they fouled him, he was like a little bit more than 50%, which
Yeah,
is
yeah. A
better
little
than you'd
inconsistent,
think
but
because
not. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, let's talk about game three. It wasn't. It really was just the Celtics coming back to life. Basically, they finally hit their threes. The Knicks were just a little. I didn't watch this game. A little discombobulated. They got down early in the first half and just never really recovered. I don't want to say they kind of gave in to losing this game, but with the final score being like 115 to 93, it kind of seemed like they were like, okay, we'll take this L. We'll take this game three L and we'll come back in game four, which they did.
Yeah.
They came back game four, and I
Another
watched
close
this
one.
very close. They went into the third quarter down by 14. And this is when I started watching it. And Jalen Brunson, I think he made 15 points or something. He made like a lot of points in the third quarter. He was doing what needed to be done. And Jason Tatum had a great game. He was, I think, 39 points. He left the game with 39 points,
Yeah.
which is
No,
nothing.
I think he had pushed 40.
Yeah, I think it might have been even, yeah, like 40, like you said. Um, but fourth quarter comes around, Knicks have a 2 point lead, and Knicks kind of keep the lead throughout. It stays pretty close. And I mean, the worst thing that happened is Jason Tatum went out. He went down with apparent ankle injury. I still don't know exactly what happened. Um,
Yeah,
I
let
know
me
you
see if I
saw
can
the
get an update
play.
for you.
Yeah, yeah. So I know you saw the play, but basically, I think Jalen Brown was passing it to Tatum, but OG jumped the pass. He got the
Hmm.
steal, and Tatum just kind of falls. Like I think he kind of started on his left ankle to he like landed on it weird, and he just falls, and he is writhing in pain. And calls the Celtics have one last timeout. He calls their last timeout with 3 minutes left. Um, which I mean it's got to be like an emergency if it is you're calling your own timeout and it's your last one, like you know that.
Yeah, he was writhing on the
He
ground.
was, and that's something you don't see. I heard he was down, and I because it obviously the camera went to like OG on the
Yeah,
breakaway, the dunks, and he's on the ground. And I was like, okay, well he's just complaining, and then he's like spinning around, like just like almost screaming, basically. And I was like, that's I just hope he's okay. Like that's so messed up.
I haven't gotten anything official, but based on what I'm reading and what people are kind of observing, the fear is the Achilles, and that would be brutal.
Dude, I
Uh,
hope it's not.
um, I am seeing Mitchell Robinson, you mentioned.
Yeah.
They were talking to him after the game, and he said, "I've been dealing with injuries my whole career." True.
Mm,
You don't want to see a guy go through stuff like that. Shout out Mitchell
yeah.
Robinson.
Shout out. Yeah. I mean, I hope it's not the Achilles, man. That's just he's young. He's so young for that to happen too.
And I mean, he would be back like maybe halfway through next season.
Yeah.
This is the worst time for something like that.
I definitely don't want that. I know he had the thumb thing you mentioned. He or wrist whatever. Every
Yeah,
time he went to the bench, he was there was a huge ice pack on it. So
yeah,
he was definitely going through something. But I mean, I hope he's okay. Um, Knicks ended up winning this game. And then Mikal Bridges went off in the fourth quarter too, just to kind of keep that lead. Brunson started on the bench. Mikal Bridges came in and he was just making those mid-range shots, and they were playing great defense, getting steals, getting stops. There were some missed calls on the Celtics. There was a travel,
Yeah, you gotta
very
kick them while
blatant
they're
double
down.
dribble. But I'm not going to talk about it specifically. I'm just saying I don't like it when it happens on any team.
It's happened all playoffs. I've noticed so many
Yeah.
bad or missed calls. Yeah,
I
no,
hate the
not a fan
least
of
my
that.
least favorite is when the commentator is like that was a double dribble, and they're just like, and they're still shooting free throws. I was like, but tell them, tell someone. I
What are
know
they
they
supposed
can't,
to
but
fucking raise
I
their
know.
hand?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
they are.
I,
No, I know. It's you can't like it's such a you can't look after every call. You cannot go to the screen and make sure what is like what you don't see every angle. But anyways, didn't matter. Knicks were able to win. Hopefully Jason Tatum is okay. I really, really, really hope it's not the Achilles. I hope he's back for Game 5. It is a better series when the best players on the teams are playing. That's just a fact. So
Anthony Edwards just hit a monster three over Draymond and Gary Payton II to make it 58-60. Warriors are up two at half.
nice. I just checked the score. I don't have it on in front of me, but I will watch the second half once we are done with the podcast.
Yes.
Yes, quite. Well, I haven't watched a lot of Thunder Nuggets. You want to take Thunder Nuggets?
I'll take Thunder Nuggets. I'll do my best. 2-2 series, so most even series so far in the playoffs, in terms of record-wise at least. For the series, during the series, I don't know. Thunder GM Sam Presti was named 2024-2025 Executive of the Year. It's a weird award in the NBA because I think as an executive, a lot of your moves are determined more than a year from when they occur. So, it's a weird award to give out because it's like, was it for this season? Is it something, they didn't really do anything this season. This is kind of a culmination of many years that led them to this point. I know some people were clamoring for Rob Pelinka for picking up the phone, Nico Harrison, for the Luka trade.
Shout out.
But,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
who cares? No one cares about the sword. Um, anyways, first
Okay.
game was pretty awesome. It was a close game. Thunder were up for most of it, and then they had the Nuggets kind of started chipping away, chipping away, chipping away, chipping away, and then in the fourth quarter we get this crazy Aaron Gordon three. Um, I watched it live. I think it was like missed free throw from the Thunder. Nuggets get it. Don't call a timeout. Nobody gets back on, not nobody, but they don't get back well enough on Thunder defense. Aaron Gordon kind of gets a wing three. Um, Aaron Gordon, who this playoffs I often mistake for Ray Allen because I feel like he's just hitting every three. It's been really good. So he hits a three and they end up winning.
Yeah.
Um, and he's had a great playoffs. Yeah, what's up?
I wanted to mention the reason why game one came down to the wire like that. I don't I watched the end of the game, not live, but later. Um, it was because the Thunder did the thing that we hate. They fouled
Fouled, yeah.
to prevent them from taking threes.
Yeah.
And then the Nuggets returned the favor and Chet Holmgren missed two free throws.
That's not hashtag ethical ball. So
That is not ethical ball. And it came to bite them in the ass and they lose game one because of that. I mean, who knows? Maybe if they didn't do it, the Nuggets would have made threes and then it would have been like a just
right.
but we'll never know. But we what we do know is that they did that tactic, which is just cheap. Like just play the game, and then win on merits. But
A lot
yeah,
of the other like basketball programs I listen to will talk about how you're supposed to foul up three in like that late game scenario, not let the other team
yeah,
attempt a three. Um, love of the game, man. Just let them play the
yeah.
game.
It's kind of like
I
when
don't
they
care
talk.
what the fuck you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's kind of. Oh, I was gonna. It's like It's when you do, also what's very common now is if you get the ball with like 30 seconds left, 2 for 1.
2 for 1,
Always
yeah,
do a
yeah.
2 for 1.
That
I hate it.
analytics.
Hate it because then you get one really bad shot and
Yeah,
then the other team has a full 24 and then you have 5 seconds maybe to get another shot.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, just get one really good shot off. And that's what I've noticed the Knicks have been doing. They're not doing 2 for 1s. Which, for whatever reason, I don't know why. But just another thing, just play it. Just
Just play
get a good
basketball.
shot. You want to get the best shot, the best look.
Just put the ball in the hoop, man.
Yeah. But anyway,
Stop
congrats
fouling. Stop hacking big men to get off the floor.
for
Stop.
real.
Like, come on, just play the game. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
But that Aaron Gordon three was insane. He is not the guy you would have thought. I mean, so Russell Westbrook had the ball, and there is a world where Russell Westbrook runs to the basket, just tries to get fouled and try to get a layup. Who knows what would happen? But he made the extra pass, and Russell Westbrook's
I
looked really
go
good this
Russell
series.
Westbrook.
Yeah, he's looked really good this series. I don't know if you want to talk about that more, but
I love Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook can't lose this series because it's the Thunder and the Nuggets. It's like the Nuggets love him because he's on the team, and the Thunder love him because he's like the greatest player in their franchise history. So, the moment where he checked in game one off the bench, I sent it to you. Where, like the
yeah,
crowd is starts freaking out. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's a
yeah,
cool moment right there.
that's love. That's love right
Yeah.
there.
Um, I have, here's a question. Can you name all the teams that Russell Westbrook has been on?
Yes.
And the follow-up question is, can you name which ones I have the jerseys for?
Which ones you have the jerseys for?
Yeah.
Yes, I think I can.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So we have so from the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
You don't have you have a t-shirt, but not a
Yeah.
jersey.
Good, good. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
worried you
yeah.
were gonna get tricked. I
No,
have the jersey, if you will.
the
The
jersey, yeah.
shirt
And then
jersey.
trade it to the Rockets for Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He was on there for 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
3 years. And then from there he goes to the Wizards. And then from the Wizards he goes to the Lakers. And from the Lakers he goes to the Clippers. And then from the Clippers he goes to the Nuggets.
Look at you go.
Yeah.
What an impressive. Yeah.
Again, I've been watching basketball since 2020. So
Okay, let's not say like you just discovered what it was. You've been
no,
back
no.
into it from childhood.
No, I know exactly. Yeah, yeah. So, I never watched Westbrook in his prime. All I ever saw was him on the Rockets. That was when I first really watched him. But no, I know his path. It is meandered, but not as
Yep.
much as some other players. That's for sure. You definitely have Rockets jerseys. You definitely have a Wizards jersey. You have a Lakers jersey because it was gifted to you. You don't have a Nuggets, but you don't have a Clippers either.
Boom. Ding, ding, ding. Correct,
Yeah,
correct, correct.
I know my boy. I know my boy.
Yeah, I should probably get a Thunder one at the very least.
At least, yeah,
That's one day, one day.
yeah.
Yeah. So I also want to talk about Aaron Gordon jersey change. So I think I had mentioned it on the pod before, and I was like, why did he change his jersey?
Oh
Because he
yeah, I
was
know why.
50 and now he's
Yeah,
32. Do you know why?
yeah, I remember why.
Okay. Yeah. So if you don't know, his brother passed away, and I guess that's the number he used to wear. And not only that, but his brother's children go to his games and sit courtside.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Um, so sorry, Aaron Gordon. I clown people for changing their jerseys because it happens all the time in modern NBA. I'll let it slide. Okay, you got me. You know
I
what?
will.
50 was a goddamn ugly number, anyways.
I was gonna say 32 is a infinitely better number, anyways. So yeah. But yeah, no, no, no. I heard about that story when the season started because I saw him playing with 32. And I looked it up, and also I don't know if you saw this, but like his nephews joined him for the like post game pressers.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
it's kind of nice too.
Yeah, that's really cool. Um, all that being said, game two, the Thunder absolutely obliterated the Nuggets. I mean, I turned that game off pretty quick. It was ugly to watch. Got to talk about their gross jerseys, like we talked about the Pacers gross jerseys. So both home games in OKC, they wore their city jerseys, which we famously ranked in the F tier at
Yeah,
the start of the
because
season.
they're bad.
And you know what? Watching a playoff game with them, I was like, "Fuck! You should not be allowed to wear city jerseys in the playoffs. You should like, I, you just shouldn't.
It
There's so many
made
misses.
no it made no sense. What made zero sense to me, I love when we bring up jerseys because I get so passionate. It's like the most passionate I get. Last year in the NBA Finals, the Mavericks are playing an away game in Boston and they're wearing their city jerseys. What? How does
We
that
gotta have
make
some
any
rules about
sense?
playoffs and what you can wear, and we
Dude,
gotta fix that.
and wearing city jerseys in an away game? What
Yeah,
that
you have a
what?
court that goes with it. Like,
It's mind games. It's mind games is what it is. Uh,
uh,
mm. Oh my.
this pod is
I
supposed
forgot
to be an
about that.
hour, Dominicus.
Yeah, yeah, no, we're unhinged. We got unhinged.
I'm trying to let you go, man.
Dude, let me out of this.
Game three, I did watch pretty much the whole thing. It was pretty competitive and not really in a good way. Um, either this kind of applies to game three and four. Game three and four, I feel like we're both very sloppy. Um, both teams not really letting the other do what they want. A lot of zone defense being implemented by both teams. Uh, both MVPs not great. Like I don't think Jokic and or Shea have looked like MVPs this series. It really has been the others. Aaron Gordon, Russell Westbrook. We mentioned Christian Brown. He's had a pretty good series as well for the Nuggets. And the Thunder side, it's been just kind of random guys every game. I don't think Chet has looked amazing. J-Dub, I think in the first two games looked pretty good. He hasn't looked that good in the last two games. Lou Dort, the stat for you. Lou
Please.
Dort. Tell me the last time Lou Dort hit a three in an away game.
Before I say my guess, I want to say that at the end of this year, I think he was top five percentage in threes. Like he had a career year from three this year. I know that for sure.
Yeah,
I will say the last time he made a three in an away game, uh, February 9th, my birthday. Why not?
February 9th is crazy. God. Um,
Okay, fine. I will say April 20th.
April 20th. I'm trying to find the stat because I don't have it anymore.
You're good.
Um, while I'm finding that though,
Well, I was gonna say Aaron Wiggins has also looked pretty good for the Thunder.
Aaron Wiggins
He's
has looked good.
getting a lot of minutes right now. It has been a weird. Alex Caruso, totally almost forgot to mention him. Alex Caruso has been looking great, playing great defense. It won't show on the offensive side, but he's playing really great defense, taking the threes, making them when needed. And Isaiah Hartenstein has been playing amazing defense on Jokic.
He's
Just
been
wanted to
playing pretty
mention
good
that.
defense. He has been airballing floaters, which has been not ideal.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
Nuggets will love every time that their offensive possession ends with Isaiah Hartenstein hitting a floater, although he's pretty good at that shot. So I
yeah.
couldn't find it. So he hit a three yesterday, so that threw off my data. But I
Uh,
think before yesterday, it was like March 25th
that's
was the last
crazy.
time he hit a three in an away game. That's a crazy stat. That's so long at away games. And like you said, he's a good three-point shooter, but
Yeah,
I guess specifically at home is
yeah.
when he's making them.
Wow. I didn't even know. I didn't know that. What's crazy is I watched parts of these games, and afterwards I look at the box score, and I like whatever reason I haven't noticed Lou Dort on the court. I was like, wait, he's
Yeah, he
where
hasn't
was he?
hasn't
Like
felt
he
like he
just
had an impact very much.
yeah. But just okay. I mean, they won. I mean, like they won the game yesterday, so like it's
Not
2-2.
not a lot of standout performances on the Thunder end. Um, yeah, they did win Game Four, and it looked like for a little bit they were about to go down 3-1, like some of these other teams.
They really
Uh,
did.
Russ kind of started going on a little bit of a tear in the third quarter to put Denver up, but the Thunder kind of clawed their way back, and like I said, both games three and four in Denver were just like you know 88 to 82, like low scoring
Yeah,
defensive efforts. Close games where it feels like both teams could kind of get back in any time. Probably been the best series in terms of, the games being relatively close, except for game two, um, until the end, and then the series itself is close, whereas all the other series kind of feel like they're over.
yeah,
Um, so there's
yeah. I
that
get
at
that.
least.
It's definitely been like a slugfest out there. Like it really is just this series is defined by its defense. I think the final score yesterday was 93-87, which is
Hmm.
modern NBA is insane. Not to even hit 100 is crazy. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I really don't know even how to call this series, if I'm being honest. Like I want to say Thunder in 6 or 7, probably 7, but it could be Nuggets in 7. I just think
Yeah.
they might have an advantage because of home court. And like I would kind of I'm gonna say Thunder in 7 because I just kind of have a feeling they're gonna lose in Denver again because of that altitude and it's
Oh, the
tough.
Alta 5280.
50, I can never forget.
Put it
It's
on your
it's
fucking
burned
forehead.
into my
Uh,
brain. God.
Yeah, I
Ah.
would say Thunder in 7-2. I think part of it for me also is going to be attributed to the fatigue factor. Um, Nuggets guys are playing like 40 minutes every game. They just don't have the people off the bench. They bring in Peyton Watson, who's okay, has some impactful defense, makes maybe a bonehead player to an offense. A guy whose name I can't even remember. who played also in the first round. Literally, his name is escaping me.
Zeke Nnaji.
Not he has not played at all.
Oh, he
Jalen,
hasn't?
no, Jalen Pickett or something like that.
Is he
Um,
playing? Sorry.
exactly. Uh, Julian Strother, he made an appearance yesterday
That's
for
what I
the
was
first
thinking
time.
of.
um,
I was thinking, yeah.
that was weird. So then it's like literally Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, Jokic, Murray. They're all playing 40 minutes. Michael Porter Jr. Got to shout him out. Still has that shoulder thing going on. You see the wrap when they play. Um, he's been pretty good. He's still making his shots. Still playing impactful basketball. So shout out to him. But after that, it's about it. They're starting
Yeah.
five and Russ, and that's the impactful players. The other guys, they're just kind of can you get in there and not lose us the game for a couple minutes? So that's why I would lean Thunder because I do think while no one has stuck out particularly to me, they do have like 9 or 10 guys that can get on the floor and reasonably play. Only one that's really been played off the court is like Isaiah Joe. Like he's just basically been
Yeah.
played out of the series. I don't know how that happened. I don't know. It's because he can't play defense, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, also, you mentioned fatigue. You went that way with it. I also want to say, I mean, the Nuggets just came from a 7 game series.
it's fair.
So, Thunder didn't look right game one because, they had so much rest, perhaps. But now that rest is, the longer the series goes, the better that rest looks.
Hmm.
So,
And
Nuggets want to,
I was just gonna say the game 3 was overtime. Yeah, game 3 was overtime.
yeah.
Shea didn't shoot a shot in overtime, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Weird.
I forgot about that.
That's another reason they lost. They really should have won game 3. Nuggets came back and kind of won and went to overtime at the end.
Yeah.
But they went from game 3, I believe, Friday night overtime to Mother's Day Sunday at 2:30 is when that game started. I mean, that's about as short a turnaround as you're gonna get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
So yeah,
yeah.
if the Nuggets want to win, they got to win Game 5. I think that's probably like the big,
Hmm.
and if you close out at home, I mean that's just a cherry on top.
Yeah, let's
Um,
whoever wins game 5 will win.
yeah, most likely for sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's talk about the last series real quick. It has only been where it's currently in Game 4 right
We're three
now.
and a
We're
half
talking
games
about
in.
it. Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, this series has been the kind of least. Not enjoyable because there's always enjoyable basketball in this, but it has been the most surprising in the fact that it hasn't been as electric as you'd expect.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe a big part of that is because Steph Curry did suffer a strained hamstring in game one. He might miss the whole series. I keep hearing on the broadcast he
Game
might be
six,
back
game
for game
six.
6.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you
Yeah,
this as a fantasy football manager, when my guys go down with hamstring injuries, they're done for 3 weeks at least. So
yeah.
that would be a freaking miracle if he came back in game 6.
Yeah, and it's just so unfortunate too because this really would have been a great series between like two amazing defenses and with like Anthony Edwards versus Steph Curry, like two generational talents, kind of going at it. And of course Gobert and Draymond Green just like punching each other and headlocking each other for fun. But it really hasn't been that. Like it has been a very low scoring. The Warriors took game one.
Doesn't even
Even
particularly feel like good defense. It feels like horrible offense a lot of the
yeah, it's
time.
almost yeah. For whatever reason, they are just kind of not running plays. They're just kind of passing it and throwing it up. And the Timberwolves. This is what makes me sometimes hate the NBA is that the Timberwolves in this series look not good.
Look
And when they
way
played the
worse than when they
Lakers, they
played
looked
the
like
Lakers.
they looked like a championship contender.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, this is the team that beat the Lakers. I'm like. Anyways, let bygones be bygones. What can I say? But I will say this. I do want to shout out. We kind of have in the notes later, but I do want to shout out Julius Randle. He's doing the most out there. Um,
Triple doubles.
yeah, which is not. Here's the thing. Julius Randle is good in the playoffs is not a sentence that would have been uttered
Yeah. Had
ever.
a really bad reputation. He's really holding his own.
Yeah, so I really respect that. And so yeah, so Warriors win game one, even when Steph Curry goes out, whatever reason, Timberwolves just could not make shots and Pat Spencer was beating them in the paint. I'm like, come on. dude, who is this guy? Seriously.
How many episodes in
Um,
a row we're gonna name Pat Spencer?
okay, Quentin Post. I get. Well, it's just funny how many of these guys on the Warriors are like really just people I've never heard of.
Why are you wearing
Um,
number 61? That's diabolical.
that's disgusting. It really makes zero. I I just want to forget I've ever seen that ever. You know. Also, when
Also,
they wear like
oh,
their terrible jerseys. What's up?
I was gonna say Trace Jackson Davis. When did he get a beard?
Dude,
Did
I
you
didn't
notice that?
recognize him. I didn't recognize him at first.
It
Also, his
looked like
hair.
a prop. Like
Yeah.
it didn't look real. It
He
looked-
went that way.
yeah.
It looks like he's on Zoom and he put on like these virtual effects. Call back.
Call back to before the pod, so they have
Yeah,
no
I
idea what you're
know.
talking
I know.
about. Just for
Um,
me.
but yeah, game two, Timberwolves definitely played their brand of basketball and they won the game pretty handily. Um, Helps that Steph Curry wasn't on the floor. Brandon Pajinski has been trying his best. And Jonathan Kuminga getting a lot of play out there.
How
And I
about
guarantee
Jonathan
you,
Kuminga?
yeah, if Steph Curry was there, I on the court, he probably would not be playing as
Man,
much.
Jonathan Kuminga looked god awful against the Rockets. Like he looked like a terrible NBA player. I think him and Jimmy combined for like 60 in game three, and he's
Yeah.
currently their leading scorer right now in game
Is he
four.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Congrats to him because I mean that's better than what I saw against the Raw. I was like, what is that? Get this kid out of this game.
Yeah.
I was like, who let this 16-year-old on this court? Like this is
You know,
not
Jonathan
good.
Kuminga's in his fourth year. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, if you told me he's like 20, that would blow my
He
mind. Because
looks
that,
like he's 20, and
yeah,
he feels like a project still. It's weird.
yeah, it's so weird. But Timberwolves find a way to win game three. It's just incredible. It's just incredible that they're not blowing the Warriors out of the water. But I guess Jimmy Butler really is. I mean, I haven't even talked about Jimmy Butler, but he
Jimmy Butler the
really
third.
the third.
When did
He
when,
really,
when did that happen? I feel like I've only noticed that this year.
so he changed it when he went to the Warriors, and
Okay,
it's
so it is a
because
this year thing.
it is a this year thing, and I'm pretty sure it's because his father passed away last year. So
Okay.
now he's like, I want to like
I thought
honor
Michael Jordan
his.
was still alive.
Oh!
Remember those rumors? Do you remember that?
Yeah, which made no sense because his dad was like with him all the time. The ones that make more sense is Anthony Edwards because
Mm.
I don't think he knows who his dad is, and that's just truth.
Or
I swear.
are you just
No,
stereotyping a
no,
black
no,
man?
no, 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 no! I
This
swear, I swear, I swear, I swear.
is ethical
No,
ball. The
no, but
listener, they don't know about that yet. They don't know about ethical ball yet.
they don't even know. They don't even know yet. No, but it was weird because Jimmy Butler would hang out with his dad. He's like, "That's my dad." Literally. Anyways, I watched the documentary. That was why I
It's
know all
that guy
about
right there.
that. Hey, oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, the Timberwolves are I don't know what's going on. I have not been not watching have not been watching this game. But seeing how close it is, I mean, I think the Warriors are just locking down on defense. Draymond Green is not playing offensive basketball whatsoever, but he is. Well, he did sink like what was it, game three where he made like four threes, or you know what I'm talking about when he was just like making threes for no
Yeah,
reason.
yeah. They
It's like
didn't have
why is
Steph, so
Draymond
he had to
Green
become
making?
Steph.
Yeah, which makes zero sense. But he is their defensive anchor, and I know he fouled out in game three, which I think helped the Timberwolves get back into the game and win. Um, but yeah, Anthony Edwards hasn't really. He had a good game three. That was it only really turned on in the third quarter. I remember watching that, and I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this series except we'll see what happens game four. I have a feeling. It might go 2-2. And I'm like, why? There's no Steph Curry on that team. But Jimmy Butler, I guess he's that guy. He can find a way sometimes. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it felt similarly in the Rocket series. Like, I don't feel like the Warriors are necessarily playing this outstanding defense, but I feel like the Rockets and the Timberwolves both haven't really been able to do their thing against them. And I'm not sure why. Because, I
yeah.
mean, like, I know Draymond was up for DPOI. I know Jimmy's a good defender. Potts can be a good defender, but it doesn't seem like there's this crazy, like, systematic, breathe down your neck thing that's causing it. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, funky. Um, you know what I will say, though? I think awareness is an underrated defensive stat in the NBA for a player to
Okay.
have. Like, I think like I'll take Steph for example. He's out right now, but I feel like some of the best plays I see Steph do are when he's super aware and he makes like a defensive play just because he knows where to be at like the right time to maybe stop an action that was going to occur or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of IQ shows up on defense. I feel like the Warriors do have a lot of that. So like maybe that's what it is, but I don't know.
I've actually noticed that a little bit too, where like if the defensive IQ is higher than the offensive, like I was watching a lot of like the Knicks like switching and the Celtics not recognizing that the switch occurred and the Knicks were like blocking the pass even before it happened. Like it
Hmm.
kind of a lot of just like guesswork. I mean, like talked about OG and Anunoby like jumping in front of that pass. It's just like they're these defensive IQs impact basketball. I didn't know where you're going with the awareness thing because I remember it being a stat on 2K and I'm like, I don't even know what this means. But
Hmm.
that does make a lot of sense. I love it also when offensive players use their defensive IQ to guess like, oh, they've been switching on me, so now I know I'm gonna like go up to this guy to get the switch I need, and whatnot. So it is very when you watch basketball in that respect, I think it adds another layer too. Instead of just let's watch a good game, it's like let's watch how this is like a chess match. Um, which is cool, and that's why I love basketball.
Love the game.
So who's winning the series?
Yeah, I'm gonna still stick with Wolves. I just think they're the better team. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be the best player in the series. Julius Randle has been good. I mean, they would have to do a lot of things wrong to lose, I think. It doesn't seem
For
like
real.
they should be losing the series after the way they handled the Lakers, especially, and the way the Warriors really struggled to get through the Rockets. It just feels like the Wolves are the better team. And
Yeah.
then you have an interesting question of who do I think would win the next series? But we'll get there when we get there.
I was gonna say, I mean, I like this finals, I have no clues making it, and it's pretty crazy. But I can't wait to find out. I cannot wait to find out.
I'm quaking in my boots.
Yeah, me too. Anyways, so I hope everyone enjoyed how close my camera is to my face this pod
After a
because it
while, I stopped noticing it.
it might be a usual thing now because my computer camera decides to not work as much.
Yeah, do you want to
So
explain what was happening?
yeah, I'll post a video about it. So basically, yeah, my computer was glitching and it would kind of glitch green and back to like my camera, and it would just have whatever motion I was doing at the time, it would just do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And at one point, I think we were before the pod, we were talking, getting ready, and I think it was happening 15 minutes straight, which is incredible. And yeah, I can't wait to share it.
Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
oh, what even is a pod? What even are podcasts
I don't even
anymore?
know.
Also, episode 76, shout out 76ers. The organization itself.
It's like, where is this going?
Shout outs,
Oh my
shout
god, it's
out
gonna be our Luca episode
1776.
next time. Holy moly.
I know. I was thinking about that, and he's not in the. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it. So, yeah, well, anyway, I just want to say thank you again for everyone for listening. And if you haven't followed us and liked our stuff and subscribed, we really appreciate it. We appreciate you,
So
and
what are you doing?
we hope you're enjoying the playoffs as much as we are. And even if the bigger market teams aren't in it, it's still amazing basketball, and we're having a great time watching, and we hope you're having a great time watching and listening too. Damon's gonna take a shot real
Literally, New
quick.
York is playing Boston. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the West
You're
mostly.
just talking about the Lakers. Shut up.
Dude, what are you talking? Dude, you know I'm not. Dude, no, I'm not. Dude, seriously, dude, I'm out. Oh, dude, I'm out of this, man. That's not even what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, yeah,
I went in my cat's water bowl. Well, what now?
Again, that keeps happening, man. Anywho,
Damn.
that was a shot. That was a shot. Anyway, so thank you again, everyone, for listening. Um, we will be potting again soon, perhaps in person next week.
Oh, we
And we
better.
will we will
Have you
be
seen me hit my sign repetitively? Now it's all diagonal.
Yeah, I have. So I'm going to
Think
um
about.
say the tagline. This has been
Uh,
Two Men Game with Damon and Dom.
but get